My 3 options here were, like, bored housewife, that one person that never changes out of sweats or hoodies. But the third overreigning one that I kept thinking of for some reason was a mix of a librarian, like an attractive librarian, and the archivist from the Magnus Archives.
I mean, my brain would be like AO3 as a person. I feel like it would be a mixture of a lot of different art styles from a lot of different games and movies and
that would make more
books.
sense than what I did.
And there are even original works on AO3, so like I do think librarian vibe makes sense for AO3 because, you know, it's literally an archive of stories. Like, it makes sense.
So I did try in the speedrun. Speedpaint. Yes, I'm human, half job. I tried stuff with, like, line weight. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because
I think it looks neat.
I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was like, and this part gets a little darker, and this part gets a little darker.
I've experimented with line weight before, but generally, like from what I've observed, like line weight typically tends to be heavier, A, with foreshortening. The closer it is to like the camera, the thicker the lines are. But B, like where the shading is, like the jawline in certain spots tends to have like thicker line weight because of the shadows that fall there.
Yeah, I figured if it was going to be darker, I could have extra lines. But then I just like went off the tracks and was very willy-nilly with everything. I also didn't like how it looked when things were typed. I feel like on AO3, that if this were an actual person, they would take such care, they would handwrite the labels.
AO3 could have some quality of life improvements.
Agreed. Started losing steam around the time that Critta crashed.
Makes sense.
So like if on the video I wasn't watching closely, if I've had to recolor the glasses twice.
That's where it happened.
Yeah.
With AO3, for the most part, a lot of the issues don't come from AO3 as a whole. It comes from people not knowing how to fucking tag their shit.
I'm pretty sure there's a comprehensive guide to tagging on AO3. I'm pretty sure that's something they have in the FAQs.
You really think people are going to go to the FAQs to see how to do something?
To be fair, a lot of people wanted it just algorithmed.
I hate algorithms. Get the algorithm out of here.
I do not want
fuck off
algorithm in my AO3's bullshit.
Like I specifically, like with AO3, I specifically search for certain things. Like the tag filtering system, love that. Fantastic. Does not need to be replaced with bullshit algorithm. But like it could just be that they're in a rush when they're posting something, so they mark it as complete from the start. Or there have been instances where I've clicked on something, being like, where they were kind of vague in the tags, and then they were like, haha, now it's the end of the story. These are the rest of the tags.
Which is a dick move.
Don't do that. And if you think about doing that, don't.
Like, the tags aren't there to be, like, an extension of the description to get people hyped. They're there to warn you what you're walking into.
It baffles me that sometimes people don't even put a description.
Bro, if you don't know what a tag means, Google it or don't walk in.
Yeah, like, inform yourself. Because, I had to explain to my mom what dead dove meant. She was very thankful I did it, because, like, I was warning her about, like, particular tags and, like, how to use the AO3 tag filter system. Because, I feel like I have a good idea of, like, what mom will and will not be willing to read and what will trigger her. Be like, hey, watch out for this tag. You won't like it. And she's like, oh, what is it? And so I explained what dead dove was. And she was like, oh, yeah. Thanks for the warning. I would not have figured that out just by seeing dead dove do not eat as a tag. I would have been confused on what it was. Also, descriptions as a whole.
Oh my god. Are we getting into I suck at descriptions?
If you say in your description, I suck at descriptions, I promise the story is better, give it a chance, I'm muting you as an author. Because if you are not willing to put in the effort to hook somebody into your story, that doesn't make the story worth it to me.
A description doesn't even have to be long or well thought out.
It could just be one sentence.
Yeah.
Like,
but that sentence better not fucking be, I'm bad at descriptions, please read. Like, just make it the first paragraph.
There are people who do that, and it's like, it's fine. I'm like, okay, cool. You're giving me a paragraph from the story, that's fine. Like,
just some quotes from the story. 20 words, man. Something.
There's something, like a simple prompt, basically.
Yeah. I I fucking love when people put author's notes.
I love author's notes, but I hate it when they're belittling their ability to do something based on whether they feel like they have met the obligations that their readers are putting on them.
Dude, they can have some of the most off-the-wall shit. Like, some of the author's notes are very serious. They're like, yeah, sorry, I haven't been able to update. This really awful thing happened to my family. But we're back at it, and hopefully we'll finish the story. Or, really awful thing happened, and I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this. Okay, cool. Some of them are unhinged. Like, sorry, this chapter originally got deleted because I was on a train and the train was hijacked and we were held for ransom. And I'm like, whoa, buddy, are you okay?
Like, my least favorite type of author's notes are when they're like, when it gets this many views, I'll update it again.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, don't hold your stories for ransom. That's not fair to the readers.
It's not fair to your readers.
It's also not fair to you to only write something you like if people are going to like it.
Like, write what you want to write because you want to write it, not because you want people to see it. Don't write for a number. Write for fun.
The same can be said about making YouTube videos. You know what I'm passionate about? The correlation between authors complaining about certain comments and the fact that comments are now a rarer thing. Genuinely cannot stand seeing an author say, if you're just gonna comment something like, update please, don't fucking comment. It's rude. That is not the case in my opinion. Like,
no, it's not the case. Like bitch, they're not gonna ask you to update if they didn't like your story.
But the point of view from the authors is that it's disrespecting the work they've already put out. Like, it's discrediting all the things they've already done in exchange for telling them to pump out more, like some kind of machine. I remember being a teen writing fanfiction, and people would say things like, oh my god, please update soon,
yeah,
or
I remember
please write more, and I would get so excited because, like, oh shit, somebody liked it enough to tell me that they liked it, and they want more. They want to know where it goes.
Yeah.
And that would fuel me on to the next chapters.
Yeah, I get that. Like, God, there were times where, like, somebody be like, oh, I'm interested in this, please give more. I'm like, cool. This feels nice.
Yes. I can't imagine having the mindset of someone earnestly coming to you and be like, I love it, please update. And going, that is so fucking rude. Like, no!
Like, it's not rude that they like your shit. It's not rude, but people feel like they can't say that these days. Because a lot of authors are like, if you're just going to comment this, don't bother.
And, like, that shit personality style like that really turns people off to a story. One comment like that from an author that they really respected can make them hate an entire fandom and series.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like fanfiction sites putting things like likes and kudos into place was a way to negate the idea of please comment more, or please update more. So, like, now they can just leave a kudos.
It was really cute. I got a comment recently where, like, they reread one of my stories, and they commented, reread kudos. And that's something I had seen on Tumblr, because, like, I lurk on Tumblr. And, like, someone had brought up the idea of, like, when you reread stories and then you find out you already put a kudos on it, you can't put another kudos on it. So they're like, do this. They were like, you could put different types of kudos in the comments.
It's a super cute idea.
And it was a really cute idea. And someone coming into my story and being like, reread kudos, a bunch of hearts. And I was like, glad to see you back. Glad you reread it and enjoyed it just as much the second time.
What else is there about fanfiction?
If you don't like something, it's so easy to click away.
Oh my god, you don't have to interact negatively with things. It is so easy to ignore things. I did have a comment recently on a story that had a kind of ambiguous ending. And so at the end, it could be read or interpreted either way, like the pairing lived or the pairing died. And someone commented, like, hey, you should probably tag that.
Yeah, if you're sitting here and you're, like, in the comments being like, hey, you should add this as a tag, I feel like that's more acceptable.
Yeah.
Because I want to be prepared.
Ooh, okay. Over-tagging is fine, for the most part.
Over-tagging is fine so long as you're not having a conversation in your tags.
That was the story, that was another one I should have put on there. Because that's an AO3 story. The one that's just the wall of tags.
The infamous, like, 2 million word fic that, like,
yeah.
I think is the reason why AO3 restricted how many tags you could put. Because that person was tagging everything in every drabble as it popped up. But it was causing issues with
people being able to load AO3 because there was just this massive wall of tags.
And also, like, in accessibility cases. where if you're like people who have issues seeing, and they use like something that could like say the words to them coming across this story, it would take ages for them to get through all the tags.
I can't believe I didn't just right off the bat put that.
I feel like it kind of like erased itself from your memory.
It did.
Because I am pretty sure AO3 has a tag limit now, but
I don't know. I never planned on getting anywhere close to 75 tags.
Like me either.
Like if you want to tag something chapter per chapter, you can just use the author's note at the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, not enough people use the author's note at the beginning of the chapter. Like, use the author's note at the beginning of the chapter to be like, hey, there's potentially sensitive content here.
I have seen people do that where they'll be like, okay, if this is something you can't handle, skip from this point to this point.
Yeah, I've seen that. And they
put like a little description under it of what the scene is. I really like that. That's good for people that can't handle a lot of certain triggers. Before we wrap up, because we only have a few minutes left, what is something, rapid fire, top of your head, what is something that will immediately make you click off of a fanfiction, even if all the things looked great about it?
Walls of text.
Walls of text.
Like, no paragraph breaks.
If your author's note is holding the story for ransom. And that's going to do it for us today. Feel free to leave in the comments whatever makes you click off of a fanfiction upon first sight. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out our channel for more videos.